All right, so you're going to be buying a house. Well, we've come up with the top 8 things that you absolutely must not do
The worst case scenario is it gets terminated where we can't even close on the house and it's a complete disaster.
when buying a house in Seattle, Washington. So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? This is Jackson Ray Wilkey.
And Jesse Ray Dow.
And we are the Real Agent Now group right here in Seattle, Washington. If this is your first time coming to this channel, you want to know everything about working, eating, sleeping, living, playing, and what not to do before buying a house, then start now by subscribing to this channel. Tap that little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. Honestly, we're getting so many phone calls, emails, and text messages, people moving here. We absolutely love it. If you're even thinking about moving or relocating anywhere in Seattle, make sure you give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or even send us the Seahawk. However you want to get a hold of us, we got your back when moving to Seattle, Washington. All right, Mr. J. Ray, there are 8 things you must not do before you buy a house. And will you please tell us what happens if they do one of these 8 things?
Yeah, absolutely. So what happens is when you go to buy a house and you work with our trusted local lender, what they do is they look at they'll do a credit pull, and they'll basically give us a benchmark of exactly where you're at, and they'll base everything on that credit score. So your rate, your down payment, all that good stuff. And then that's good for 90 days. Then on the day before closing or a couple days before, they do one more hard pull to make sure that your credit's exactly the same. We're hoping that your credit always gets better. We realistically expect that it's going to stay the same. But the worst case scenario is it gets terminated where we can't even close on the house and it's a complete disaster. So we definitely want you paying attention and not doing these 8 specific things. Therefore, we'll have a very nice, smooth transaction and close on time and get you into the home that you've been wanting.
I don't think a lot of people know this, and it's not their fault. It's just maybe they're first-time home buyers, or maybe last time they didn't do it. But so what you're saying is they're going to talk to a lender, put an offer in, and then there's usually a typical 30-day close. If they do something in between those 30 days, it really can affect them.
Oh, it's going to definitely affect them if they've done one of these things. And I've seen it happen now a couple times in the last few transactions. In one case specifically, the client couldn't even close on their house, and it was a very horrible situation. And, we set them up for success, talked to them specifically about what not to do. They didn't follow our path, and they didn't think the repercussions would happen, and they did. And now, guess what? No house.
Yeah. Right. And I mean, how stressful is that? You're moving out of your home state, your city. You probably got your house on the market or you sold it, and now you can't get into a house here. You're stuck renting, hoteling, whatever. So let's get into these 8 things. We really need to prepare all these people so that we don't want to scare you too much. It's really simple not to do these things, but what are the 8 things that they need to, be aware of, Jesse?
So number 1 is going to be, do not apply for any credit cards. I know it's super tempting when you go to Target or TJ Maxx and you want to save that 10% on a $100 purchase. But what that does is opening a new credit card changes your whole debt to income ratio, and it provides more opportunity for you to actually spend more money. So that can actually really hurt you. So I highly recommend, and actually I'm not even recommending, I'm telling you, do not open a credit card before or after being approved through your lender. Like that actually leads into number 2, which means do not close any credit accounts, because like I said, your credit's already been pulled based on your available credit, and actually closing your credit cards changes your debt to income ratio again. So it might look like you have all this available credit and all this, your great debt to income ratio, but if you close your credit card, it lowers your debt to income ratio, or it could move it all around and it changes everything. It can also drop your credit score if it just sounds counterintuitive, but it'll drop your credit score. So therefore you don't want to close any credit card accounts either. So just leave it be, take care of it afterwards, talk to your lender. They'll advise you exactly what to do and what not to do, and what will hurt you and what won't hurt you.
Yeah, so take those credit cards, tape them up, put them somewhere. But this is very serious. I mean, it's going to drop your credit score. It directly correlates to your loan rate. So, I mean, you want to just keep those credit cards and put them away. So now we're going to talk about the number 3 thing.
Yeah, so number 3 also kind of goes hand in hand with this, is do not get behind on any payments. And this goes for utility bills, any school loans, and
just bills, man. Yeah.
And credit card bills. The big one with the credit card bills is you can have lates. Your bill comes on the 1st. It's due typically whatever day it's due on, but they give you a grace period of 15 days. So it's okay to have the late, but it's not okay to actually miss a full payment. If you have one missed payment in the next 12 to 24 months, almost 100% of the banks out there are not going to give you a loan. So you cannot have any missed payments, and just make sure you're paying all your bills, even if it's the minimum, but we definitely got to stay on top of that.
That was huge, guys. So if you can't pay the full bill, even those credit card bills, just pay the minimum down. That's it. That's all you need to do. Just don't leave those, because then it dings your history really bad. So let's go into number 4.
So number 4 is do not move any money around without a paper trail. We had another instance this year where we had a client get some money, as gifted funds from a family member, but it was basically given to them in cash form, and he directly deposited it into his account versus having the family member wire the funds over. So therefore, the bank system basically thinks that you're laundering money, because they want to know exactly where that money is coming from. And they want to make sure it's not coming from, under someone's mattress, or, being dug up from under the ground, or, drug laundering, whatever it may be. So make sure you have a clean, clear record of exactly where that money is coming from, and we can, float to a nice, smooth closing.
Absolutely. Let's jump right into the next one.
So the next one is do not buy a car unless you're working with one of my competitors. You can buy a car then. But do not buy a car. This is the one thing that will absolutely destroy your chances of getting a home. I've heard of it. I've heard of horror stories of somebody getting excited because they're going to buy their house, and they decided they were going to go buy a car because everything was looking great, and it completely destroyed the whole thing.
Oh my gosh, yes. I think you're finding a common theme here, people. Don't buy anything. Just stay where you're at for 30 days. But let's keep going, man. Next one.
Yeah, the next one is also do not buy any furniture. This is one where usually it's a big cost item. Yeah. So therefore, when the bank starts seeing these like big purchases, even if you're spending cash, they get a little curious as to why you're making these big payments. So therefore, just wait till the day you close to go out and get that new furniture. Most people, open an account at the furniture shop. That's a double whammy. You're buying new furniture and opening a credit card. But I bought a house one time, and I bought, over $10,000 in new furniture. And I remember the bank was like, "What are you doing? Like, you shouldn't be doing this." And I'm like, "Well, I'm paying cash. It's not a big deal." And they still had a little bit of a conniption fit. So definitely hold tight. Don't buy furniture, and you'll be just fine.
All right, we got 2 more very, very, very important ones. So what is number 7?
Number 7 is it's another good one. It is do not change your job. This is another one that will destroy your chances of closing on your house. Say you're going into the middle of your transaction, you decide that you just got a vision that you're not supposed to work anymore. Well, guess what? Everything's income stated, and you have to have 2 years of experience or pay history in your current industry to close on a house. If you destroy that and you go off to work somewhere else, your house isn't going to close. I can just tell you that much, unless you're going from directly from one industry to another. But I would definitely say ask the employer you're going to go work for to start that new job the day after you close. If they want you bad enough, they're going to wait. So just do not change your jobs in the middle of the process.
Sweet. Let's keep rolling. That was an awesome one. Number 8.
Number 8 is do not spend your savings. This is another big one. It basically they want to make sure that you have a nice cushion to live off of. And if that flexes up and down, they're going to basically look at a low water mark over the next, few months and see that, you're basically living a volatile lifestyle that can affect everything. So just leave your savings alone. Don't spend it. Make sure you're budgeting appropriately. And if you are going to be making some big spends, make sure you let your lender know so that way they can document it in a file. And also they're going to ask you too, when, they see big deposits and big withdrawals, they're also going to ask you to document all those. So just make sure that you're fully aware and ready for those questions to be asked when going to buy a home.
These are all absolute examples of what's happened, people. So this isn't just us saying these things. These are what are coming up, and they're coming up frequently. So we wanted to be able to get that out. We have a huge audience here, and we have a lot of people reaching out. And that's one of the other things we do when you do reach out is we help you through this process so that you can close. We don't want you having any surprises, but the overwhelming theme is just don't open any credit cards. Don't buy anything big. I mean, we understand you got to go your normal groceries and all that. That's fine. But the big item purchases and cars and credit card, it kills you. But we got your back. I mean, honestly, these questions come up all the time. We guide you through these processes so that you do close on that home. And the only way to do that is you've got to reach out to us and give us a call. You got to shoot us a text, send us an email, or even send us the Seahawk, baby. However you want to get a hold of us, We got your back when moving to Seattle, Washington. And this is your first time to this channel. You want to learn everything about Seattle, Washington, working, eating, sleeping, playing, and everywhere. Make sure you tap that subscribe button. Click that little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. And until that next video, we'll catch you later.